When I went to see my mother the last time in North Carolina, in 2013, she told me about an experience that she had, and I'd completely forgotten about it until my daughter's doctor mentioned it to her. That's right. They researched her grandmother's medical records in the emergency room. And they told her that she was documented for having a seizure and convulsions as a little girl, too. And that it was in her medical records at the same hospital that the three of us were born at. So, and our last name is very unusual, so it was easy, just to pull up her medical records. And what my mother told me, which is what the doctor wanted to know, at the time I didn't recall, but I do now. And what my mother told me is that Lolita had been harassing her, which Lolita has always done. That's nothing new. Lolita does that shit. Lolita has always done that shit. Lolita abused the fuck out of my mother. Her mother. Lolita abused the fuck out of her mother. And for all of you who have criticisms for my mother, I watched my mother my entire life try to repair the harm that she assumed she had done to Lolita. Or maybe she actually did do the harm. Or maybe she didn't do the harm at all. She wanted to repair harm that others had done. I watched my mother do that shit. My mother was terrible at that. She didn't do it for anybody else. Nobody. Only her children. Lolita, Zanya, and Daniel. No one else. Certainly never me. To me, I was her slave. That's what she was owed because she raised me. That's how she felt. She did raise me, don't get it twisted. My mother actually raised me, but she was evil. She believed that she owned me, that I owed her because she didn't have to raise me. That's what she always reminded me of. Anyway, what she told me was, because ironically, the very one that she shit on is the one that she depended on, because her children didn't take care of her, I did, my entire life. What she told me was that Lolita had been harassing her so much, her stress and anxiety and trauma were so high that after a phone call, this was the last time that she talked to her by the time I saw her. So she had been spending years with her, but had to cut her off because of this incident. And what happened was she called her on the phone, okay? And I've had incidents with phones also. Not with a person on the line, but signals. High-pitched signals, squealing, kind of like the thing you hear when you try to use AOL dial-up. It's really loud, and when you've had multiple concussions, then it has a horrible effect on the brain. So she was on the phone with Lolita, and her nose started bleeding. So after a while, she hung up. She was passing clots through her nose. My mom didn't get nosebleeds. This is not normal for her. At the time, she was already in her 60s and very disabled, debilitated disabled. And her nose bled for so many hours that she had to dial 911. And they said they thought she'd had a seizure. They weren't quite sure. And I don't even recall what they recommended for treatment or anything like that. But I remember my mother telling me that. My mother was also experiencing this gaseous, noxious odor inside her apartment. It smells like the runoff from a paper mill. And if you don't know what that smells like, it smells like a dump. Like the gases in a dump. It's kind of sulfuric. It's very disgusting, but it's noxious. It makes you dizzy. It makes you foggy. It makes you often throw up, nauseated, blurred vision, headaches, migraines. And my mother experienced all of that. And when I went to my mother's home, I also experienced it. The smell was there. I filed a report, and people came out to look at the situation. And there was a question of whether or not people were cooking meth in the neighborhood. And that is the smell that you get when people cook meth. That's not the only time that I've smelled that. It happened when I was in Mount Holly, when Eddie Vedder paid people to drug me, rape me, torture me, traffic me, stream it, and I had a stroke in the process. The smell is always present during these situations. That smell has been here in this home off and on the entire time that I've been here. And lo and behold, I've been experiencing seizures. And even sometimes nosebleeds, and I never get nosebleeds. The kids have had nosebleeds, migraines, nausea, dizziness, itching, allergies, all kinds of things that are associated with being poisoned by toxins. Incidentally, those are the symptoms that you get when you live next door to a meth lab also. But the point I'm making is, me, my mom, and my daughter were all diagnosed with the same sort of psychogenic seizures. The doctors never get an accurate history of trauma or torture. They never ask about the toxins that we've been exposed to or the car accidents where we've had multiple concussions. They've never asked us about whether or not we've been beaten until we blacked out, and that's happened to all of us repeatedly. All of us have been, not my daughter, I'm sorry. Me and my mom, it happened to. And my daughter has experienced an extensive amount of trauma and torture. She's watching her family get tortured. She herself has been hunted. So if she starts passing out, having nosebleeds and seizures, wouldn't you think all of that has something to do with the seizure and that it's not just a psychological problem? Not these doctors that were awarded by Biden to cover up his pedophilia.